Well, hello there. Welcome to the Obi Thorn Alliance. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Luke.
And in today's video, we're going back to our top 5 movies from the years. And this time we're doing from 1997. Stick around if you want to hear our thoughts.
So, 1997, a big year, the year after you were born.
Yes.
Big films came out this year, without spoiling the list. Things like Titanic, Good Will Hunting came out this year. So, interested to see where they fall within the list. Should we get started? Do you want me to go first with my number 5?
Yep.
Okay, so at number 5, I've got Austin Powers. So, big fan of comedies, as people would know that follow the channel. I really like Mike Myers. Most of his films, I don't really like The Love Guru, but the rest are pretty good. So, the original Austin Powers, I remember watching this a lot as a kid and a lot of funny moments in it. So, I couldn't do this list without having Austin Powers in it.
Funny enough, number 5 is Austin Powers the same. Just loved this movie growing up. It's such an iconic movie with Mike Myers. Unfortunately, they didn't make a 4th one, but this one is such a great film. Not great enough that it can't be up, but it's such a great comedy. It is a mix with James Bond and other sort of action films, but it's light-hearted comedy and really enjoyed this movie.
I did not think you were going to have Austin Powers on your list. Interesting. So number 4, I've got Men in Black. Again, a film I really enjoyed. Obviously, there's going to be a theme to this. We were quite young when these movies came out, so obviously the ones that are going to stick out are going to be those that are more tailored towards children. So Men in Black. It's been many years since I saw it, but I remember watching it a lot as a kid, and it's standing out. Probably my first encounter of Will Smith, who's now a megastar in so many great movies. What do you got at number 4?
My number 4 is Jurassic Park 2 with Jeff Goldblum. I remember watching this movie and I actually thought it was pretty good. I know a lot of people don't like this movie because it didn't have Sam Neill in it, but personally I really enjoyed it. I think it's as good as the first one. I think the third one is probably the worst of the franchise, but overall I really enjoyed the movie, and that's why it's at number 4.
Yeah, good choice. I don't think it was as bad as people say, but didn't make my list though. So at number 3, I've got Hercules.
Haven't seen it.
The Disney animated one. I just remember as a kid, this was probably my most watched animated show. I remember having a Hercules toy that, you like squeeze him and his chest would pop out and the toy would crack. And I thought it was cool. I really liked Hercules. So I just think it was a great animated film. It was probably my first favourite Disney animated film that I could actually understand as to being a little baby and just like looking at the pretty colours. So Hercules is at number 3 for me. What do you got at number 3?
My number 3 is The Cube, and the concept is that these people wake up not knowing where they are and they have to get to different places within the cube, and I really enjoyed this movie. I obviously didn't watch it the year it came out, but when I watched it I really enjoyed it. I guess you can say it's a thriller / horror, and they made a second one and I think a third one, but the first one is definitely the best one and I really enjoyed it.
Okay, never ever heard of it. So number 2, I've got Liar Liar, obviously a Jim Carrey classic, great film. The whole concept of not being able to lie, and from that, there's so many funny moments in this and just what can come of it, and it's just a good story. Have you seen it?
I don't think so, no.
You haven't seen Liar Liar? Well, I highly recommend you watch it. What do you got at number 2?
My number 2 is Titanic. Such an iconic film for its time. It showed, of course, how the Titanic sunk. It's such a tragic story. Leonardo DiCaprio's character dies at the end, and it's I will not watch it again, but it's such an iconic movie that it's definitely worth watching once, and it's definitely better than what's at number one, but I think that rewatchability factor is why number one's better than number two. But as a film, number two is better. Titanic is more iconic film that you need to watch once.
So this might be controversial, but at number one, I haven't included Titanic in my list. I do admit that it is an extremely popular film, but it's going to miss the list for me, mainly not being rewatchable. And I've gone with Batman. So for people that know, I'm a big fan of Batman. This movie is extremely stupid, but it's rewatchable. And even now, I still watch it and think it's great. It doesn't really make sense into what we imagine Batman to be now, but watching it as a kid so many times, so many bits stand out from it. I even now see my son really enjoying it. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, we got Uma Thurman, we got George Clooney. There's so many big stars in this film. For a film that is so stupid, it's great. So that is my favourite film of 1997. Not necessarily the best film of 1997. What have you got at number one?
Not as controversial as that one. Mine is Men in Black. Just growing up with this movie, really enjoyed Will Smith back in his early days. Really enjoyed the concept of aliens and just the whole sci-fi element. And as a police film, it's also really cool as well. Like I said with number two, it's not the best film of 1997, but for me it was my favourite, so that's why it's at number one.
Good choice. I really liked it too. It made my list. So any other honourable mentions for 1997?
James Bond, but from the two, Austin Powers I preferred more.
Yeah, so quite a few good films came out this year. Obviously, Titanic, that's rated.
Good Will Hunter.
Yeah, two films that are rated in the top 10 of all time. Not to mention, if you're an Australian, The Castle came out in 1997, which is a cult classic for Australians. And I also, one that I would have liked to put in my list, like Good Burger. So I don't remember this whole movie, and that's probably why I couldn't put it in, but I remember watching it a lot as a kid, and it had Keenan and Kel in it. And they worked at some kind of burger joint, and I just remember just watching it so many times as a kid, and something suspect was going on at this burger joint, so might have to rewatch it. But I remember really liking it, but gonna have to watch it again.
Well, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, and if you like this video, there's more videos at the end. Let the force be with you, and as always, you're awesome, and keep being awesome. Bye bye.